Hey there, this is Maria from English Without Fear. I've switched online teachers, and I want to tell you, English language teachers and coaches, about my experience with my new online Spanish teacher.
English Without Fear, where you can learn to speak English naturally through listening to stories.
Yes, I've changed teachers. As you know, I've been working on my Spanish. I started last June 2018, and today, the 15th of July 2019, I've had about 425, 430 hours of listening and watching Spanish and reading simple Spanish stories. A few months ago, I picked up a Skype teacher, a native speaker from Colombia, and her price was good. It was $10 for 30 minutes, and I thought, I'll give her a try and see if I can coach her in a way to teach me Spanish the way I know is best. Um, but it hasn't worked out. I've given her several months. I've probably had 10 different lessons with her, and she keeps going back to grammar and practice and pressuring me to speak Spanish when I'm really not ready, and I kind of dread those lessons. Now, I've had a friend named Alisael who is French. I've had a friend for several years who teaches French and Spanish through storytelling. And that was the way I taught my students French for decades. It's the best way, it's what works. So I decided to take up an offer. She said, Maria, I'll give you a free 30 minutes and I'll tell you a story so you can feel what it's like. So last week was this time, this session with her. It turned out to be about 35 minutes. She gave me of her time, and it was wonderful. She started out, hace muchos años en una selva vivían dos animales. Many years ago in a jungle, there lived two animals. Well, I can't tell you how I just relaxed as soon as she started to tell me this story about animals in a jungle in, I think it was Brazil. It was the story of a fierce tiger and a meek deer who decided they needed a new place to live. It was wonderful. She did not ask me any questions. She did not make me try to speak. She spent 35 minutes telling me this story in simple Spanish. She knows my level. And she had a whiteboard, and she would draw out pictures, and she would write some words in Spanish. It was delightful. I was so sorry when the 35 minutes ended. I just sat back and relaxed. I felt like I was a little kid again. This is the magic of storytelling with your students. One, there's no pressure. All they have to do is listen and pay attention. And we humans are wired for stories. So I decided as soon as we finished, I went ahead and paid for 10 hours of more storytelling with her that we're going to spread out an hour a week. So she has plenty of time to tell me a story. She can ask me simple questions where I can say yes or no or say one animal or the other animal. She knows my level. Just like you, English language teachers, you know what your students know. So if you haven't tried storytelling with your students, do so. Just think of a story you know, a fairy tale you know, and put it in simple English. And just watch the magic that will happen. So that's my 2 cents worth, my experience, myself acquiring a language. I'm hooked on Spanish. It's so much fun, but I know what doesn't work and I know what pressures me and I don't like it. So talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching. For questions or comments, here's my email